Paul Pastore, the strongest person in the world, Mr. Paul Pastore.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, if someone were to ask you who you consider to be the strongest person in the world, what would you say? Some of you might think of Superman. Why, he's faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. You might say Superwoman. You might be thinking of the world's strongest man competition. Has anyone seen that on TV? Is that amazing? These huge, hulking humans meeting in exotic locations for these feats of strength. A few that I like is they'll tie a rope around a bus or tractor trailer, and these guys have to pull it over a distance. Another one I like, they take a small car. They cut a hole in the bottom, take out the engine. The guy gets inside of it, his head is in the moonroof. His arms are through the doors, and he actually lifts and lugs the car over a distance. Another one I like is called the Africa Stone. They have a 400-pound stone that's shaped to the contour of Africa, and they have to awkwardly lift it up and lunge forward for time over a distance. You might look in this room and say, are there any strong people in this room? And your eyes might gravitate towards Russ Shahanian. Mark, look at those guns! But if someone would ask me who I consider to be the strongest person in the world, I would have to say, I believe it's that person that can offer a sincere apology. Let me tell you a story. It started in a men's group that I belong to, and several members in this room are in the men's group. We meet Friday mornings at Cornerstone Church from 6:30 to 7:30. We usually watch a short video for half an hour, John Maxwell, Andy Stanley, on a leadership topic. Then we break into small groups of about 6 at a table, and we discuss a certain topic. About a month ago, we were given the topic, we got in our tables, and a gentleman there by the name of Walter started diatribing about politics. He actually said that there was a particular candidate who he considered to be Satan's spawn. So I said, Walter, this is not the time or the place to be talking about politics. Why don't we put that aside and address the question at hand? He looked at me with a certain stare that I won't forget. Russ started to answer the topic, and Walter interrupted Russ. And I said, Walter, why don't you let Russ finish the topic? He looked at me again, and he said, don't ever interrupt me like that again. Let's take a break here. Do you know that your brain has 3 sections? It has the cerebral cortex, the limbic system, and what's called the reptilian brain. It's at the top of your spinal column. It evolved when cavemen faced dinosaurs and saber-toothed tigers. It's called flight, fight, or freeze. And I felt the fight coming out. But I decided to freeze, and I just stared right at Walter. And after what seemed to be an eternity, but was probably 20 or 30 seconds, Walter said something I'll never forget. He pointed at me and he said, don't you look at me like that, because you don't have what it takes to back that up. Have you ever seen those submarine movies? Where they're about to take the boat and dive? There's a sound, something like this. The captain comes on and says, take your battle stations, men.
Oh, my.
And about then, a little devil sat on my shoulder. I haven't seen the little devil in a long time. He sounds a little bit like that guy in the Rocky movie that was in the ring. Mickey, I think his name was, to Rocky. And Mickey was saying to me, hit him in the face. And then, a little angel appeared on this shoulder. And the angel said, Paulie, this is the church. This is the men's group, Paulie. They have a no-fighting policy. Would you like to spend Easter in Tent City? Someone at the table diffused the situation and we left. The following Tuesday, I got out of an appointment at 6 p.m. I picked up my cell phone and there was a voicemail from Walter. He said, "Hi, Paul, this is Walter. I would like to apologize for my behavior on Friday. I've had a problem with anger my entire life. On last Friday, I didn't take my medication. I would like to sincerely apologize. I was breathless, speechless. In my opinion, he's one of the strongest men in the world." The following Friday at our men's group, we had our discussion. I stood up to summarize my table, but instead I said, I want to congratulate someone here in the room. Someone I consider to be courageous. Someone I consider to be tremendously strong. Walter, for apologizing sincerely. Walter stood up, I didn't know he would, and he apologized again to the group. He said, "I'm sorry, so sorry that I insulted Paul in front of our table mates, in front of his friends. I didn't know he collected coins." And he gave me a little plaque with quarters from every state. He said, "I hope you'll accept this as a token of my sincere apology. In my opinion, Walter is one of the strongest people in the world." How can you apologize? How can you become stronger? There's a 4-step apology. I think I've shared it before. Number 1, tell somebody you're wrong. I didn't say you're sorry, because saying you're sorry doesn't pack the powerful punch that saying you're wrong does. Tell them what you did that's wrong. Tell them what you'll do differently in the future, and ask for their forgiveness. In my opinion, you can resurrect relationships this Easter time. You can become a stronger person through a sincere apology. Adam Toastmaster.